All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who all in this truth from. Peace and salutations to the hopefully late, shalom. And I wanted to touch on this video. This is for educational purposes, right? And I want to go into this video put up by CBC News, which is based out of Canada, and it's going into let's read it. Exposing fascist fight clubs training for race war in Canada. Okay, and what you Jakes, all right, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites, whether you believe it or not, there is going to be a race war. All right, it's biblical. All right, we're gonna go into some scriptures to show you that a race war is going to happen, and is going to be orchestrated by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, man. All right, Yahweh Shai is going to be orchestrating this race war that is getting ready to take place. Okay, so you have this going on in Canada. You better believe this is going on here in Babylon the Great, known as America, and all around the world. All right, you got these Edomites preparing for race wars. All right, preparing to go at you, Jakes, man. Ultimately, that's the main target. All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he don't got he doesn't have his eyes on nobody else, man, besides you, Jakes. All right, that's who he truly wants to get at, man, and this is who he's training to go up against. All right, because these Edomites, they know and understand that their kingdom's done. They know and understand that their main opponent is going to be you Israelites, man. Okay, Matthew 24:3, and it reads, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, speaking about Yahushai, the disciples came unto him privily, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?" All right, so the disciples came unto Yahushua asking what we're going to be, what's going to be some of the signs that's going to take place, in the last days. All right, how are we going to know that the end is near? Okay, Matthew 24:4, and it reads, "And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you." All right, and we aren't be deceived. Okay, we know and understand that Esau is he's preparing. Okay, beginning with the elites. All right, they're already making major moves. Okay, they got Alligator Alcatraz being built. They're reopening the original Alcatraz down there in the Bay Area, and they already have other encampments up and going. All right, as we speak. All right, and they're throwing Jake in there. Okay, they're torturing Jake in there. There's reports coming out of Jake being given toilet water to drink. Hey, Esau, man, Esau is not playing no games with you Jakes, man. All right, but for some reason, you Jakes, you Israelites, you think, that everything is going to, continue as normal. All right, you think the so-called white man is not preparing to destroy you, or you don't even see him. You don't even see him coming. You don't even see him as your enemy. All right, Matthew 24:5, and it reads, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and shall deceive many." All right, and we're seeing that, man. Okay, you Jakes, you really think your pastor is anointed? All right, the Most High, I was dealing with him. You you really are deceived. Okay, a lot of you think even the Israelite community, you think your leader, Bishop Nate, and the list goes down. You think those guys are really, men of the Lord, man. All right. Matthew 24:6, and you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. Okay. A race wars is going to be an actual war. Okay. And you're hearing more and more of these things surface. You're hearing so like, bear with me a second. All right, Salakia. Or you're hearing of these things. You're seeing them. You're seeing these videos surface. Okay, well, Esau preparing for these race wars. All right, see that you be not troubled. All right, the hopeful elect. We ain't troubled, man. All right, we know Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna be with us. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, all these things are, they're gonna come to pass. These race wars, the World War III. All right, civil unrest, Jacob's trouble, which we're in it. Okay, it's coming. No, we're in Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, that's the mindset we got to have and keep. So we don't get comfortable, man. We're in Jacob's trouble. Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation. Okay, so nation goes into races, man. All right, this is going to happen, man. Okay, the nations as well, the different nations are rising against each other, but races are going to rise against each other and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, these kingdoms are even though the elites of these kingdoms are on board for the new world order, the Lord is still going. He's still going. He's going to control the hearts, to control the minds of these kings and these kingdoms to rise up against each other. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And we're seeing all of these. All right? We're seeing earthquakes, hundreds of earthquakes, okay, a week, if not a day, all right, in different parts of the world. Okay, let's go back to this video. All right, I don't want to make this lesson too long. Okay.
White nationalist groups in Canada are coming out of the shadows. And they're building their combat skills. These new groups are part of a global movement, calling themselves active clubs. In Canada, they have links to terrorist groups and extremist militia-like organizations. And they try to hide where they are. They blur their faces and hide their surroundings. We dug through their social media channels and investigated hundreds of videos and images posted by these groups to reveal who they are and where they train. Well, let's go see what this stream has to say. If you've never heard of an active club, it might seem harmless. Who doesn't want to be active, right? In reality, they recruit white people to tribe and train.
All right, and there's no such thing as white people. All right, they're the Edomites collectively. Now you're gonna have Israelites that are among the so-called white people that look like them, but for the majority, their biblical nationality are the Edomites, man. Okay, you Jakes must understand that, because that pinpoints your top enemy. Okay.
Basically, they're fascist fight clubs, and they're on the rise around the world. In Canada, this movement overlaps with violent terror groups. Take Atomwaffen Division. It was a neo-Nazi group linked to multiple murders in the US. It was listed as a terrorist entity in Canada in 2021. That's when many former members joined active clubs. And as we're about to show you, there's a bit of a theme here.
This is probably one of the fastest growing far-right extremist threats in Canada.
Now, these groups say they're not looking for fistfights in the streets, yet they often refer to a looming global conflict and a time when civility will be unnecessary.
These are people that in many cases are training for what they believe is to be an upcoming race war. The potential for violence and the potential for something catastrophic to happen is extremely high.
All right, so there you have it, man. E is preparing. Okay, E is preparing to go after you, Jakes. All right, when all hell breaks loose and there's no policeman, all right, there's no law, so-called law in place. You're gonna have these militias, all right, these Edomites, even these lower level Edomites, they're gonna join in, okay, and they're gonna come after Jacob. They're gonna come after you Israelites, man. All right, and the Lord's gonna put the spirit on Jake to rise up, and take out, all right, a lot of Edomites as well. But Esau is gonna get the upper hand. All right, 2/3 are gonna be destroyed. Isaiah 19:1, and reads the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right, speaking about spirit, this is the spiritual Egypt known as America. All right, Babylon the Great. All right, the heart, the minds of these people are melting. People are crashing out. People are losing it. Okay, and these militias and these Edomites, they know and understand. They know and understand that society is collapsing. All right, they know that all hell's going to break loose. Okay, they ain't arguing. They ain't on our comment boards talking about nothing's about to happen, man. All right, a lot of these Edomites know and understand what's coming. All right, it's just you Jakes. All right, you niggas who wanna argue with us. All right, who wanna say that the vision is for a time afar off. Nah, man, we're here. Isaiah 19:2, and it reads, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Okay, so you Egyptians, right? You Edomites, you Moabites who live here in America. Okay, you Hamites. All right, you Jakes, you 2/3. Okay, you Ishmaelites. Okay, who believe in the American way. You're considered Egyptians. Okay, and the Lord is gonna set you guys against each other, aka race wars. All right, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor. All right, everyone's gonna be at each other's throats when society collapses. All right, when there's no more so-called law and order, Esau's law. All right, it ain't the law of the Heavenly Father. Esau's law ain't in order. Is gonna be everybody for himself, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, so the race, the race wars, people, nations rising up against each other. Okay, battling for resources. Though that's coming very soon. All right, it's literally around the corner, man. Okay.
One of the main groups behind this mass demonstration in Toronto is Nationalist 13, or NS13, based out of Hamilton, Ontario. Members are open about their views. In this video from NS13's Telegram channel, one of their members poses with a Nazi lighter. On Hitler's birthday, the group called him one of the greatest men to ever live, saying, "One day we will see his vision come true."
So, in a post like this, even though there may be no mention of the Jewish people, when they're referring to Jews, and in this particular case, anti-Semitism would clearly fall within the scope of the criminal code prohibition.
So you think this is hate speech?
Yeah, I think a lot of what's said in the posts that you provided me with would constitute hate speech under the criminal code.
And these stickers that they put up in Hamilton's parks say National Socialists, Nazis. And here's where we find another link to a terrorist group. The Canadian Proud Boys disbanded in 2021 after they were designated a terrorist entity, following the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot. This here match.
Yeah, the sketch park. Oh, well, shoot. And that's even closer towards the children's garden specifically. Ugh, that's really upsetting to see. Yeah, I think it's a serious public safety concern. The rise of extremist organizing is a national security threat.
Right, and it's quickly say this is going to be used to come after the men of the Lord, the Israelites. This is going to be used, lumped in there as well. But I mainly wanted to get it, to show that Esau is preparing. All right, this is taking place in America as well. Okay, all your major cities have these groups. All right, your boss, okay, your coworkers, all right, your people you live around. They're in these groups, man. Okay, your Edomite boss, man. Okay, Edomite co-workers, things of that nature. Second Ezra 13:31, and it reads, "And one shall undertake to fight against another." Okay, so it's when society collapses, it's not gonna be peaceful. All right, peace isn't coming to America. All right, you Jakes, man, you got another thing coming. Thinking everything's going, you seeing everything gonna be all right, man. Nah, all right, that's not in the cards. That's not in the forecast of the Heavenly Father. One city against another, one place against another, one people against another. All right, and this is going to turn into them race wars. Okay, it's going to start out, people, coming at each other, mainly for resources, and everybody, is trying to get what they need. All right, but then it's going to take that turn into people banding, racially banding together to keep, their so-called, their people safe. All right, their people, going, so to speak. All right, in one realm against another. Okay, Yahweh and the angels return to this realm to go at these heathen. All right, beginning with Esau, Edom. Okay, let's grab this. All right, you heard in that video, it said ethnic conflict. All right, so Esau's bracing and preparing for ethnic conflict. And ethnic conflict is a conflict between two or more ethnic groups. While the source of the conflict may be political, social, economic, or religious, the individuals in conflict must expressly fight for their ethnic group's position within society. All right, so this is a definition, of a race war. Okay, and this has been taking place throughout the beginning of time. Now, I mean, this has been taking place since the nations have been here, man. All right, the Israelites, going at the heathen, the Israelites going at the Edomites. All right, the Edomites going at the Israelites. Okay, everyone, trying to get that dominant position. But but this time, the Israelites are going to come out. The beginning with the elect is going to come out the victors. All right. Let's see. Second Ezra 6:22, and it reads, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." All right, and we're seeing that. Okay, major cities. Okay, all these programs. All right, all this stuff is being unsown. Okay, America's being taken down. All right, the storehouses are closing up. All these businesses are shutting down, and that's causing that pressure, man. Okay, pressure from above, pressure from below. Second Ezra 6:23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. All right, people are listening to these lessons, man. Okay, people don't think Akim who do sit downs. Don't think because you get one or two views, no one's listening. Nah, people are listening, man. All right, and people are knowing. People know what we're saying is coming to pass, and they know that it's true, and they're afraid. Second Ezra 6:24, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. All right, so nobody's friends now, man. Okay, people claim that it's my friend, my buddy, man. Nah, man. Even when the tree is green, all right, society is still up and functioning, so to speak. People still cold, man. All right, the love of many is waxing cold. Just imagine when you know the last PB and J is gone, man. All right, the last bag of Doritos is eaten up, man. People gonna do just that. Friends shall fight one against another like enemies. All right, that race war is gonna be on and popping. Ain't gonna be no it was my Edomite buddy Jimmy. All right, nah, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. All right, this is why people are crashing out at an alarming rate. People are crashing out, man, every single day because people are afraid. All right, therein the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay, so the main point of this lesson is that the race war is coming, and it's biblical. And you Jakes better turn to your power, the Heavenly Father Yahweh Yahweh. All right, and get ready. Okay, that's the only power. All right, the only way that you gonna make it through Jacob's trouble. All right, and these race wars. Okay, civil unrest is the Lord being with you. But with that, we'll close the lesson out. When it was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.